I am Richard Cortez. I am 81 years old. By God's wonderful and amazing grace, and the amazing thing is He's not only given me 81 years of life, but it has sustained me in good health, physical, mental, and hopefully growing in spirit and in truth and in knowledge and in love in Christ. And I have to say at this point, with all sincerity and reverence, that I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave Himself up for me. I have to say and admit that I am a sinner saved by grace. I lived a long time, many years, in the church. In fact, I remember from the very beginning, as a young child, sleeping on the floor in front of my parents in a large Assembly of God church where there was stomping and yelling and praising, and my Aunt Lolita pounding on the piano and foreign languages being spoken, and I would put myself to sleep on Sunday nights, and it seemed like an endless thing. People would not go home. It was just continuous, and this is the way I would put myself to sleep. And this is where my parents were married, and this is my roots. And but after a while we moved around. I was born in 1927 during the Depression years, and possibly because of the finances, we moved around quite a bit throughout the city. But my dad was always insistent that we go to church. No matter where we moved, we attended several churches. Sometimes they were close to the home and sometimes not. But my dad was very conscientious that it was important to attend church. So I grew up being an attendant of church, and as we grew up, it was part of my life, going to church, and I considered it very important. It was a habit and a tradition that my dad started us out with, and I appreciated that very much. Later on, after I got out of the Navy, I went to college, got an education, and it was during these years that we belonged to Methodist Church, and I grew up in this Methodist church and attended all the activities, sang in the choir, and even led the youth choir, and I felt good about myself. I was serving the Lord, I said to myself. I was conscientious of what my father had taught me, and I was involved in all the activities, canvassing from house to house, going on missionary trips, and going to summer camps, and it was fun, and the fellowship was good, and I knew I was doing something worthwhile, and church was something that was valuable to me. A couple of years, a young evangelist came into town and had a revival, and my wife and I walked down the aisle. We responded to the call, we signed the sheet, and we were both baptized.